Are you on a compliance team and you're just struggling to get the engineers to actually execute on the work you need, whether it's just fixing standard items or even giving you evidence? Have you even looked at your mission statement for your organization to see if it actually aligns with metrics that are important to the engineers or operations or security teams? Well, today I'm going to talk about the key thing you should look at when formulating your mission statement, which is the first thing they're going to see, and aligning it to what's important to engineers, and how, if you do that, it can really open up a great engagement with engineers where they can really understand why you're there to save them time and work, and not just be that fun overhead function that you're swinging the bat in order to make them do because they just know they have to do it regardless. My name's Milan, and in the decades I've spent working both as an engineering leader, operations owner, release manager, and compliance owner for a $5 billion software product, to today where I'm actually managing a bunch of SaaS services where we have to go do all these audits and gather evidence from engineers, this has been an ongoing problem and will continue to do so until compliance teams really start aligning their goals with engineering. And the mission statement really is the first way you do that. Mission statements from compliance teams usually focus around risk mitigation, right? The job of the compliance team is to execute on compliance programs, reduce the risk for the company, and open new markets through new certifications. I see that kind of mission statement a lot. How does that resonate with what engineers track? Do you think any engineering team, other than maybe looking at a CVSS score for a security bug, manages risk as an actual metric that they track and that they actually care about? Coming from engineering, I'll tell you that they all care about compliance. Nobody will tell you they don't, but they don't measure it the same way. And as much as we'd like them to meet compliance halfway, compliance really needs to change their mission and their mission statement and really kind of focus on the goals that will impact engineering, which will then build the trust and actually pull them into the fold that we're all on the same team trying to do the same goal. So what do we mean by that? From the compliance perspective, what do engineers tend to care about? What do they track for success? They usually track things like bug rates, regressions. They'll track SLAs, customer uptime, the amount of time it takes them to go do things. Remember, everything's in a sprint. If you're using DevSecOps or whatever the case is, there's usually a time that they do for engineering. Those are the things they track. But does compliance track those things? Well, in this channel, we talk about the new ways of doing that. And actually, if you're interested on more about the mindsets with engineers, there's going to be a live stream coming up, or you can watch the rerun. It'll be episode 2 in the live section. I suggest maybe that you mark that. But the real important thing with the mission statements is compliance can change it. And so here's an example of that. You could say that the mission statement for the compliance team is to ensure that the operational compliance that is conducted is done efficiently, at scale, and reduces the time for engineers to execute the work while managing risk. Look at where managing risk is. It's at the end. And don't send me hate mail because it doesn't mean it's any less important, and I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's still a factor, but that's not going to be the metric that's going to move the engineering teams. Now remember, risk to a line engineer control owner having to go fix a bug or actually give you evidence, risk is not something that they track, nor is it something that they're rated on. But what they are rated on is the efficient use of their time. So in the mission statement talks about the operational effectiveness. What I would tell you is that as you get compliance more predictable, meaning you're getting through audits on a more predictable schedule, there are a lot less fires to go fight because there's more focus on reducing the time. You're tracking the amount of regressions coming back from the audit teams that you're eliminating, right? And if you're tracking those things, that's what engineers care about. You can show engineers based on your mission statement that you're reducing the amount of effort that they have to spend on compliance. Because we all know that compliance is the most exciting thing for engineers to go work on, right? I want to go fix that accessibility bug or that privacy bug because that's so much cooler than this cool UI that the customers are actually going to rate on, that I'm actually getting paid to go do and going to get either promoted or not based on this cool new function for the customers. But so remember, you're always going to be an overhead of compliance team, but you can show through your mission statement how your mission is to reduce the cost of compliance. That is why it's such a powerful tool to think about your mission statement for your compliance team as aligning to the engineering team's goals in a roundabout sort of way. But what that also does then is allows you to build that kind of trust with them that you're doing it the most efficient way possible. And then that will allow them actually to want to do more work with you, because again, that time is time that they can go use for other actual customer facing features and bug fixing that they would actually prefer to go do. So I'm not going to get into all the particulars of why engineers, kind of bash on compliance, but a lot of it's because compliance is pretty inefficient. It can be very inefficient with the number of times you have to bring auditors in, give the same evidence multiple times, pulling them into meetings. But the mission statement could be the first thing that you use as a compliance team to show the engineering leaders that you're on their side, you're there to reduce the cost for them that they can use in other areas. And if you set up your metrics, which will also be talked about in the channel the right way, then you could actually be the hero. So again, I hope this has been helpful. If it has been, I'd appreciate a like. If you subscribe and hit the bell, you also get notified when the live streams happen, like the one that's coming up on the differences between engineering and compliance mindsets, and you'll get notified of those as well. Have a great day.